Hello, dear students. Today we are going to solve paper 1 of 5th March 2022. Question 1. Write the number 16,037 in figures. So it's to be written this way. Question 2. Write down the 6 factors of 28. Try to list the factor pairs of 28 first and then solve the factors in an ascending order. So the first pair is 1 and 28, 2 and 14, 4 and 7. After then, as if you're making a U-turn around the values or around the factors, so you're going to write them in this order: 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, 28. Question 3, write 9,876, correct to the nearest thousand. So I have here 9 in the thousands place, 8 is the neighbor, it will add to the 9. So the final answer is going to be 10,000. Question 4, I have a pictogram here. And the key is given that every 4 squares are representing 12 cars, which means in each small square is representing 3 cars. You just divide 12 by how many squares do I have here to know the value of each square. Okay. First of all, the question is work out how many more white cars than red cars the garage sells. In this kind of questions, how many more, how many less? So I'm going to subtract the bigger value minus the smaller one. And usually here, in this case, you'll find that the bigger value is the first one. How many white cars first? We should recognize here that I have 12 and 12 and 12 and 12, which is 12 multiplied by 4. So we have 48 white cars. The red cars, here I have a complete square, which means I have 12 cars. And here I have only 9 cars extra, which means I have here 21 cars. So 48 minus 21, which will give 27. The difference between the number of white cars and red cars. Question 5, write down the reciprocal of 5 over 6. As we know, the reciprocal of a number is 1 divided by the number. So I can just drop it on the calculator and I will get 6 over 5, or I can just flip the fraction upside down. And take care, if it's a mixed number, I have to either use the calculator directly and say 1 divided by the mixed number and get the answer and write it, or I will just turn the mixed number into a fraction and then I will flip it. So the final answer here could be written as an improper fraction, 6 over 5, or you can just click on Shift SD on the calculator to get the mixed number form and write this one or this one, each one is correct. Question 6. I have here a method to work out 99 multiplied by 27 without using a calculator, which is 100 multiplied by 27 minus 27, and then the working out as shown. The question is, and please read the question carefully. Don't just rush and go and solve it. Show how to use it as method to work out 99 multiplied by 68 without using a calculator. So I'm going to apply exactly the same steps, but here instead of having 27, I have 68. I will apply the same steps exactly. Remove each 27 and drop 68. So, which means 100 multiplied by 68 minus 68. Work out this part, the first part, this one, on the calculator, please. Although the question mentioned to show the working out or to do it without a calculator, but in these minor steps, and of course, mentally, you can just drop 6,800, but please, I need all these steps to be done on the calculator. And then minus 68. So I'm going here to just drop on the calculator 6,800 minus 68. And I will get an answer of 6,732. Okay, question 7, write 5:26 p.m. using the 24-hour clock. So I'm going just to translate this one as long as it's p.m. So I have to add 12 to the whole part here. So I'm going to say that the final answer is 17:26. Of course, no PM anymore. So it's the 24-hour clock. A journey starts at 21:15 one day and ends at 04:33 the next day. Calculate the time taken in hours and minutes. In this case, first of all, try to check the minutes part. 15 turned to be 33. You have to get the difference between 15 and 33. So this means I have 18 minutes. Okay, from 21 to 4, I'm going to count. 21 means 9 p.m. From 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. of the next day, you'll find that it's 7 hours. So the final answer is 7 hours, 18 minutes. Change 10,260 seconds into hours. From seconds into minutes, I'm going to divide by 60. From minutes to hours, I'm going to divide by 60. So if I want to cross all this distance, I'm going to divide by the product of these two 60s. So I'm going to divide by 3,600. You can do it as step by step on the calculator, and you can just type 10,260 divided by 60, and then what you got, you will redivide it by 60. Or you can just, from the beginning, from seconds to hours, you can memorize that I have to divide by 3,600. So you will get an answer at the end. Type it on the calculator, please. And you will get 2.85 hours. Question 8, you are going to measure the angle. Take care, but the mistake that might happen here is that you might read in a wrong direction on the protractor. First of all, as long as I'm going to measure, so this is drawn to scale, I see it an acute angle. It's an acute angle, as you see. So I must get a measurement which is less than 90 degrees. If you read it wrong, you will get 140 degrees. And if you just put the protractor here and you read from the 0 at the left, you'll find that you are reading 140, although the answer is 40 degrees, which is to be measured from this direction. So you have to put the protractor and measure the angle correctly and make sure that you get an acute angle at the end. Here I have a triangle that is drawn. Of course, it's not to scale, and I'm going to just copy the triangle into scale. So I have here the base is already drawn to me, 12 centimeter. I'm going to draw the other two sides, 9.5 and 8. 9.5 centimeters, I will open the compass on the ruler with a distance of 9.5. I'll put the pin of the compass at this edge, and then I will make an arc. And after then, I'm going to reopen the compass at 8 centimeters, and then I'll stop at this vertex, and then you are going to draw another arc, and then you are going just to connect what you got. Make sure that you write the dimensions on the sides, and make sure that you measure what you drew. Is it somehow accurate? Is it somehow very near to 9.5? No problem if 1 millimeter more or less, it's okay. 8 centimeters at the other side, and don't forget that never, never, ever to erase your arcs. Question 9, put one pair of brackets into this calculation to make it correct. You are going to try an error. You are going to try it more than one time, but make sure that you don't waste your time in this question. First of all, you are going to try 150 minus 17 minus 5 maybe alone, and then you are going to try different options. You will find that the correct one is this one. Whenever there is a power here, whenever you find any question like this one and there is a power, make sure that you try if the power is on a bracket, not on a number itself. So this is the correct answer, and the power 2 is on the brackets. Work out this question. You will just drop it on the calculator, and after then you round your answer to 2 decimal places. If you forgot to round, you will just take 1 mark. So on the calculator, please, you have to drop it, and you will get an answer. First of all, before rounding, it's 80.49844. And this is the second decimal place, and this is my neighbor. My neighbor will add to me, and after then the 9 will add 1 to the 4. So the final answer is 80.50. In question 11, Joe thinks of a positive number n. He squares the n. First of all, when the question is to write an expression, please kindly read it carefully. Give it the proper time. So here, Joe, he squares n. So it's n squared. Then adds to it negative 24. So till now, we are just translating what's written in words into expressions. The answer is 25. What is the mistake that could be done here? and maybe you rush and then you write n squared plus, you so add and you just ignore the negative. You might write it n squared plus 24 equals 25. After then you will move the 24 there as minus 24. You will feel comfortable, things are going amazing, n squared equals 1, so n equals 1, and this is not the correct answer. Please read the question carefully and translate it in a proper way. So here, if I have plus and minus beside each other as Sad's law, we are going to apply it here. If I have same sign, I will drop plus. If I have different sign, I will drop minus. So this will be replaced with a minus. So plus minus or minus plus will be replaced with a minus. So I have here n squared minus 24 equals 25. This minus 24 will be moved there as positive 24. So n squared equals 49. N is 7 because the question mentioned that Joe thinks of a positive number. If it's not mentioned, so I would write 7 or negative 7. So here 7 only is the correct answer. Question 12. I have here two friends. They are sharing money in the ratio of 7 to 9. Calculate the percentage of the money that Indrani receives. So first of all, I need to get the total. How many parts do we have? 7 for Indrani and 9 for Jagad. So I'm going to say that the total of these parts is 16. Indrani took 7 parts out of the 16. So we are going to write it here. This is the fraction that the first one already took. 7 over 16 is the fraction, and I want to represent it as a percent. So multiplied by 100 and use the calculator, please. 7 over 16 multiplied by 100. Click on the SD button. You will get 43.75%. What do you think if he took actually 8 out of the 16? 8 out of the 16 is half the amount, so I was expecting 50% at the end. Try to just get reasonable answers, not any answer that just pop on the calculator. Try to think of the answer. Is it somehow a logic one or not? Okay, question 13. The equation of a line is y equals 5x plus 7. Make sure that whenever an equation of a line is given, that the coefficient of the y is 1 and y is kept at one side and everything is at the other side. This is the most important thing. The equation is given y equals 5x plus 7. Write down the gradient of this line. As long as the equation is written in a proper way, so the gradient of the line is the coefficient of the x, which is 5. Find the coordinates of the point where this line crosses the y-axis. From a proper equation, we can determine that 7 is the y-intercept. As long as 7 is the y-intercept, so this line is passing by the y-axis at 0 and 7. So the answer here is 0 and 7. The second part of the question, find the coordinates of the point where this line crosses the x-axis. Let's have a look at this part. Any point on the x-axis has a 0 y coordinate. So whenever I'm checking the x-axis, 0 and 0, 0 and 1, or 1 and 0, take care please. So I have here 1 and 0, correct. After then, 2 and 0. To the other side, -1 and 0. So at the end, whenever a point is on the x-axis, the y coordinate of this point is 0. So I can expect that I have here 0, the first thing. Second thing, I need to get the corresponding x when the y is 0. So simply, I'm going to use the equation of the line. Y equals 5x plus 7. Remove every y and drop 0. So 0 equals 5x plus 7. I'm going to solve equations normally. I will move the plus 7 to the other side as -7. So -7 equals 5x. -7 over 5 equals x. On the calculator, you will get -1.4. So this is the point where the line is going to cross the x-axis. Okay, another question here. Triangle A after reflection, we are going to draw the image of this triangle after a reflection in the y-axis. Triangle A after a translation by the vector -3 and 4. Let's do the reflection first. The reflection is on the y-axis, in other words, on the line x equals 0. So it could be written as y-axis or on the line x equals 0. And what we also know that the x-axis or the equation of the x-axis is y equals 0. So please don't forget this information. It might come in this way in the exam. So I'm going to reflect it. Reflection simply could be done using the tracing paper. You're going to trace the two axis, the x-axis and the y-axis, and then you are going to trace the shape, and then you are going to flip the page of the tracing paper, and then you will trace the new shape. Or this shape is too simple. I have only 3 vertices in this shape. I can just check every vertex is away by how many spaces from the mirror line here, which is the y-axis, and go to the other side exactly with the same spaces. So here, this point is away by 1 step, so I'm going there 1 step. This point is away by 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I will go 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll find the point is here. This point is away by 3 steps, so I will go there 3 steps. After you decide the 3 vertices of the shape, you just connect it, of course, with a pencil and a ruler as accurate as possible. The second question is, the second part, I'm going to translate triangle AF by the vector -3 and -4. -3 represents the translation horizontally, and -4, the second value, or the lower value, is representing the vertically translation. So take any point. Let me change the color of the pen. Let's try the red one. Take any point of the shape, for example, this one, and then I'm going to translate this point as exactly the vector mentioned, -3 and -4, which is 1, 2, 3 steps to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps downwards. So if this point was point A, so this one is point A dash. I'm going to just draw the shape, or you can translate each point of the shape exactly as what you did with A dash, or you can just draw it. So I can just draw here. I have to go 1, 2, 3, then 1. I will go 1, 2, 3, then 1. This was point B. This one is B dash. After then I have here this point. I'm going from B to C. This is C. 1, then 1, 2, 3. I'll go down 1, 1, 2, 3, and this is C dash. Make sure that the shape after translation is already kept with the same dimensions, same angles, everything is identical, just the location of the shape is changed. Okay, question 15, write this value as a power of 10. Simply this question as if I'm writing the number in the standard form. So I'm going to try to move the decimal point to the right till I reach the 1SF. So I move 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's 1 multiplied by 10 to the power of -4. I will just write it as 10 to the power of -4. This one is ignored in this case. Okay, question 16, as the temperature increases, people eat more ice cream. So we can find that it's a piece of cake. This question is very simple. We're going to find that the answer is positive correlation, or if you just write positive, because the question is asking about a type of correlation, just write positive, you'll take a mark. Question 17, simple interest. Take care, it's simple interest. Whenever you say simple interest, write the rules. I equals PRT. After then, ending balance equals P plus R. These are the 2 rules. Whenever you see simple interest, let's try to work out. The question wants to calculate his investment at the end of 6 years. So the ending balance is required. Question out of 3 marks. So in this case, the ending balance is required. If the question was asking about the interest, the question will be very clear. Calculate the interest. Calculate the total interest. But if he's asking about the total investment, total amount of the money at the end of these years, so the question is regarding the ending balance. PRT 700 multiplied by 2.5 over 100 multiplied by 6. You will get the value. Let's do it. So here the interest is 105. Ending balance equals 700 plus 105. So the ending balance is $805. Question 18, sequences. These are the first 4 terms of a sequence. Write down the next 2 terms, find the nth term. Let's try to find the difference here. You'll find that I'm adding 22 between the terms. So I'm going to add another 22 to get a value here, and another 22 to get a value here, because the question wants to write down the next 2 terms. So 67 plus 22, you will get 89. After then, if you added 22, you will get 111. Find the nth term. So the difference here is the coefficient of the n. So I will write 22n. Substitute if n is 1. Take care, this term is term number 1, number 2, number 3, Number 4, I'm going to remove the n and replace it with 1. I will get 22, but I need the first term to be 1, not 22. So I have to subtract 21. So the nth term is 22n minus 21. 1 mark for each term here in this expression. Question 19, collecting like terms. 5f minus 8f, negative 3f, positive 7g plus 2g plus 9g. Okay, question B, index low. Here, as the base is the same, I'm just going to, and I have here multiplication, I'm going to add the powers, so it's h to the power of 7. Question C, 2 marks, concentrate, please. The first term here, I'm going to get the square root of 16x squared. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of x squared is x. After then, I will multiply what I got by 5 multiplied by y to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So don't forget that this term is 5. 4x multiplied by 5, this will get you 20x at the end, which is the final answer. Okay, Balavan has 9 marbles. He gives his sister n over 5 marbles. He gives his cousin n over 2 marbles. Write an expression in terms of n for the number of marbles that Balavan has now. We want to get an expression for the remaining marbles in its simplest form. First of all, he has n. Then he gives his sister n over 5. Then he gives his brother n over 2. And this is the remainder. I want to simplify what I wrote here. I'll take n as a common factor out of these 3 terms, and then as if I'm factorizing somehow. So here, I'll divide all of these terms by n. I'll get 1 minus 1 over 5 minus 1 over 2. Drop this on the calculator, you will get 0.3 or 3 over 10. So the final answer is, don't write the coefficient after the variable. It should be written before the variable. So I have to write 0.3n, or if you wrote it as 3 over 10n is also accepted. Also, we can write it 3n over 10. Any of these is accepted. Okay, or any other answer that will lead to the same final answer at the end. Question 21, use the set notation to describe the shaded region. Of course, it's A intersection B. If all of circle A and all of circle B are shaded, so it will be union instead of intersection. Here in B, find the number of the elements in set C. N means the number of elements. So I'm not going to write B, F, G, H, J. I'm just going to get the number of them. How many elements do we have? So you are going to write here 5 elements. Question 22, without using a calculator, this question is also a piece of cake. We have to just sort the question. I'm going to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. Of course, use the calculator, please. Don't forget the button SD, Shift SD to just jump from mixed number, fraction, decimal form, and so on. So you're going to find, if you drop the first part here, you will get 7 over 3 multiplied by 11 over 14. This is the first step. In multiplication, you will multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together. So you are going to get 77 over 14 multiplied by 3, which is 42. 77 over 42 on the calculator, you will get Shift SD. You will get 1 and 5 over 6. So this is the final answer. You can just write 11 over 6 also here and then represent the final answer as shown. Expand and simplify, multiply x with x, so it's x squared, x by negative 5 minus 5x. So I'm multiplying this way. After then, I'll multiply this way. Positive 3 times x, positive 3x, positive 3 times negative 5. Please, 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 on the calculator, please. Negative 15. After then, negative 5x plus 3x on the calculator. Collect these like terms. Negative 5 plus 3 will get you negative 2. So the final answer, x squared minus 2x minus 15. The order of the terms will never affect the expression at the end. Question B. Renuka's teacher asks her to factorize completely 8x squared minus 12x. We take care that to factorize completely. She wrote it as 2x multiplied by 4x minus 6 as her answer. Of course, it's not a correct answer. Someone's will, before explaining why she does not score full marks and give the correct answer, someone's will just think of giving the correct answer first, which is going to be, I will write here 4x multiplied by 2x minus 3. So this must be the correct answer. What differs your correct answer from the answer that Renuka gave actually? Because I still have a common factor here between the 4 and the 6. So I have to get 2 out of the brackets. Whatever the way you are going to represent your point of view about why her answer is wrong and your way is actually correct in different words, it will be accepted. And if you just wrote because she needs to get 2 out of the brackets, or we can write that HCF of 4 and 6 is 2. Whatever you are going to write and it's correct, it will be accepted. Question 24, Odita thinks of 2 whole numbers. Both numbers are greater than 6. The LCM of the numbers is 90. The HCF of the numbers is 6. Find the 2 numbers. The normal question is, I'm given 2 values, 2 numbers, and I want to calculate the LCM and HCF. But here we are doing the inverse operation. I'm given the HCF and LCM, and I'm looking for the numbers. Now, if it was the normal case, so for example, if I'm getting the HCF and LCM of 10 and 15, so I will just write 10 and 15, I'll drop a line, and then I'll think of a common factor between 10 and 15, so I'll think of 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and no common factors between the 2 and 3 except the 1, so I will stop here. The first column includes the HCF, and first column with last row all multiplied together includes the LCM. In our case, in our question, we are going to go backward in an inverse way. So we are going to drop a line. I'm going to drop 2 values that I don't know, and I will write the HCF that is given in the question, which is 6. So here is the HCF. The question mentioned that the LCM is 90, which means 6 multiplied by 2 other values will give me 90 at the end. So this is the letter L, and here there must be 2 values. Okay, let's think of 90 divided by 6 is 15. So I got 15. I will split 15 into 2 values. 2 factors of 15, I'll write here 3 and 5. The order will never affect the thing. So here, 6 times 3 times 5 is really 90. Let's go from the lower line upwards. Instead of saying like here, 10 divided by 5, I got 2, and 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. So I don't have this value, so I will go as multiplication. 3 multiplied by 6 is 18. 5 multiplied by 6 is 30. So the original numbers that we were looking for are 18 and 30. So you are going to apply this method to solve this question. This was the last question in paper 1, Feb March. See you in another video discussing the other paper, which is paper 3, Feb March 2022. Thank you so much for watching the video. Share it for anyone that can that this video would be helpful for them. Thank you so much. Bye.